And I tied the donkey up around the post.
I did too,
I
but
did that one
obviously
nod
not
you taught me how to do. And it,
Hey, so glad you were able to come. We have quite the story for you. Well, several, in fact.
Oh, that reminds me. I have a supper I have to get to.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
See ya.
All right.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of someone called David? In the Old Testament, we read many stories about a man named David. David was a shepherd boy who once killed a giant named Goliath with a stone and a slingshot. He was a musician who played the harp so beautifully, he was asked to play for King Saul. And eventually, he was a great king who led Israel with courage and wisdom. But most important of all, David was a man who loved God with all his heart. All his heart. David loved to worship God. He did so through poems called Psalms. Perhaps you've read the Psalms before, but if not, here's one he wrote. It's Psalm 139. You have seen what is in my heart. You know all about me. You know when I sit down and when I get up. You know what I'm thinking even though you are far away. Even before I speak a word, you know all about it. Wow. David understood that God knew him completely. David even says, if I go up to the heavens, you are there. Imagine if we somehow flew up into the sky and off to the farthest parts of the universe. God would already be there waiting for us. God is the already God. God didn't meet David for the first time when he was a shepherd boy or when he became king. God already knew David before he was even born. David continues in Psalm 139, God, you created the deepest parts of my being. You put me together inside my mother's body. How you made me is amazing and wonderful. Did you know that God knows you and made you too? Before anyone else knew you existed, when you were a tiny, tiny baby inside your mother, God knew you. He made you amazing and wonderful. And the absolute truth is this: God simply cannot stop thinking about you. You are precious to him. God has been interested in you since before you were born. And even when you aren't thinking about God, he is thinking about you. God knows me, and God knows you. Pause the video and discuss these questions together as a family. Who in your family knows you really well? What does that person know about you, and how did that person get to know you so well? How do you think God knows everything about you? Share one thing about yourself that is special and unique.